Before we start this video, I just want you to look at this thing, like look at it. This is a handgun, much like this, except instead of being chambered for something small like a 9mm, it's chambered in a full power 7.62 by 54R rifle cartridge. And I want you to think, why would someone take something like a Mosin Nagant and make this? Because not only will I tell you it wasn't made as some sort of range toy fun gun, I'll also tell you that it had a genuine purpose to it, and there was good reason why more than just 1 or 100 or even 1,000 were made. What's up, guys? Skippy Africanus here, and today we're going to be talking about the Obrez. The gun's name simply translates to something like sawn off, because as mentioned, these are essentially just sawn off Mosin Nagants, and they actually come in a wide variety. They don't all just look like this. Some simply have the barrel shortened with, a variety on whether or not they're going to actually have sights with that barrel. Some have the stock shortened a little bit or just flat out cut off, and of course some are essentially just this. There really wasn't a standard to making these, as they were simply made to how the person who wanted one actually wanted it. Now, why would someone want one of these if it wasn't simply for fun, as mentioned before? The answer to that question is concealability. The Mosin Nagant is a long rifle, much too long to hide in a trench coat or, say, open a door while pointing at the poor Red Army soldiers coming to take your farm. These were made in lieu of having actual handguns, as those tended to be quite rare, and they were used extensively by partisans, revolutionaries, and of course, your common criminal. And these were used extensively in Russia, as well as plenty of other countries for that matter. In fact, much like how the Tommy gun is known as the classic gangster gun for the United States, these carry a very similar label in many East Bloc countries. Except instead of your classic Al Capone type running liquor with a Tommy in hand, it tended to be a kulak farmer answering the door to some Red Army soldiers who had come by to take his farm. To the point actually that a lot of Soviet propaganda of the day in regards to kulak farmers would typically show them with an Obrez in hand. The Reds going to take farms tended to get very familiar with the Obrez. However, on the same token, plenty of Reds themselves certainly made use of these things during the Russian Civil War, as well as pretty much every group for that matter. Again, these look goofy, but when you can't get a handgun and you need something to conceal, these don't look so bad of an option. Which is why, as mentioned, though the kulaks most certainly got some use out of these when dealing with the Reds, these are also in general just regarded as the classic gangster guns. Again, much like how the Tommy gun is regarded for the United States. Which, speaking in regards to the criminal element too, one funny side note is that while they were writing up the National Firearms Act in 1934 here in the United States, aside from just regulating machine guns like, say, Tommy guns, pistols were also on the list of guns to be regulated. And while writing up this treacherous document, they realized that if they went about just simply banning handguns, you would get your common criminal doing stuff like this as a loophole. Sure, they could arrest a guy for having a handgun, but if he's got something like this, there ain't much you can do, given it's technically just a shortened rifle. And that's where you got the short barrel rifle requirement added to the list of items to be regulated in an effort to close that loophole, which sadly they decided to just flat out keep that there as opposed to removing it, because they never did ban handguns. But anyways, you do gotta admit, like, yeah, it would have sucked if they ended up banning handguns, but a movie like Goodfellas would have been a lot more interesting if instead of whipping out the 38 snubs like they always did, they instead would pull out something like a chopped off 1903 Springfield. Like, I don't know, I think that would be a little more intimidating if you ask me. But anyways, I think that is gonna do it for this short little video on the Obrez. I might start picking a few guns here and there from Battlefield 1, but I'm still gonna be mainly focusing on the guns from Modern Warfare 2 series. As I mentioned, we're gonna be doing everything from that game, and I kind of want to finish that series. Like, to be honest, there's a couple other guns I would actually specifically want to do from Battlefield 1, but today I just felt like doing the Obrez because, well, I just felt like going over the Obrez. But anyways, with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as I personally enjoyed making it, and I will see y'all next time.